Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Shalom, my friends, and welcome to this week's newscast. From the Times of Israel, a senior White House official told the Times of Israel last week that the president is a master deal maker and as committed to trying to achieve the ultimate peace deal as ever. But he will not tolerate falsehoods being spread about America and our positions, and he certainly will not spend taxpayer dollars to subsidize those who spread them. Donald Trump, my friends, is the president of our day, and we should remember that the Donald was Elohim's choice for such a time as this. Now, our live stream broadcast last Thursday went really well, and we all had a wonderful time. After, that is. After Scotty Clark saw that I was having a problem, phoned me and told me what I was doing wrong. Honestly, my friends, if it wasn't for Scotty, there never would have been a live stream last week. Thank you, little brother. The first 15 minutes were crazy. Me and caregiver fumbling around, her talking to me and me not listening because I was so confused. It's kind of funny in a way. But if you start at the 15-minute mark, we have more than 50 minutes of some of the best fellowship ever. Paul Skatarski popped in and was there right from the start, and Scott Clark was there the whole time, but never popped in because of a bit of confusion on my part. No matter, though, next week we'll hit the ground running, as caregiver puts it, and we'll have at it all over again. And there's that was our first attempt. Naturally, there's some blunders the first time out, but I'm seeing a better way of presenting all this. And initially, if you watch, you can see that my focus was on answering questions and feeding Yeshua's sheep, and we're going to primarily focus on that for the next couple of weeks. Then we're going to have Paul on. We'll have Scotty on with a primary focus on Paul when he's on, primary focus on Scotty when he's on, and we also want to have myself, Paul, and Scotty perhaps 1 week. We'll work it out. Right now, I have an announcement to make, my friends, and that is I will not be loading any more videos up to my Vimeo channel. Well, I guess it really happened because of the live stream, because I can only do that on YouTube. Can't do it over on Vimeo, and I don't see a reason to download the video. These are like an hour plus, so downloading them would take a long time. Then I'd have to upload it to, it'd just be crazy. So, as of this week, I'm kind of, in a sense, I'm shutting down my Vimeo channel. Not really shutting it down, it'll be there. But I'm bringing everything over to YouTube because it's easier for everyone as it is. Now, that being said, you'll soon be noticing me loading up 10 videos that are old videos as far as Vimeo is concerned, but all new videos as far as YouTube. So these are older videos that I did on Vimeo when I was absent from YouTube, whenever that was. and they will be appearing in the following order. You'll see a video coming up, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. Then Zephaniah, the video I talked about in my very first Walk in the Word last May. 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, He is risen, 3 days and nights, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, and the book of Joel. Now, once all those have been loaded up to my YouTube channel, my entire catalog of videos, more than 700 now, will all be available on YouTube. And hey, my good buddy Paul put up a video last Sunday, you know, the Zeus Mossbender YouTube channel, that, wow, I mean, his message is so beautiful, my friends. You don't want to miss this one. You know, Paul talks about something that many of us have been concerned about over the past week or so. He really did something very special. He was looking at Yeshua's lambs. And I know he prayed up big time on this one, but Elohim delivered a message through Paul. That was a very special meal for Yeshua's lambs. The way Paul delivered it is so filled with the Ruach, you just can't help but be comforted. Honestly, little Shaul's video displays a teacher of Yahweh's word who is absolutely full of wisdom. Thank you, Paul, for giving Yeshua's lambs a meal this week that is truly nourishing. Thank you, my Polish friend, for edifying, exhorting, and comforting Yeshua's lambs. Navi! That's what a prophet does. Don't miss the message on Zeus Mossbender's YouTube channel this week, my friends. Click the link below and subscribe if you haven't already. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Tuesday, January 2nd, from the Washington Post, clashes in Iran between security forces and demonstrators left 9 people dead, bringing the death toll to at least 20 in the unrest that raged for 6 days last week. The protests spread to far-flung towns and cities that are strongholds of the middle and working classes. In addition, the semi-official ILNA news agency reported on Tuesday that 450 people had been arrested in Tehran as of January 2nd. The National Council of Resistance of Iran, NCRI, said the nationwide protests threaten the regime's security. Quote, God help us, this is a very complex situation and is different from previous occasions, they said. Close quote. At least 40 cities across Iran witnessed protests. Then from the Wall Street Journal, despite Syrian and Iraqi claims of victory over ISIS, thousands of militants still holed up in both countries have mounted a number of recent guerrilla-style attacks on civilians and military forces. The fighters, hiding in isolated desert or mountain regions or among civilian populations in neighboring countries, are stepping up hit-and-run attacks. In Iraq, insurgents disguised as members of a government-backed militia set up fake checkpoints south of Kirkuk, where they assassinated a local police chief and his son. Days later, militants ambushed an army patrol. Maintaining sleeper cells is a crucial part of ISIS's long-term strategy to resurge. Then on Saturday, January 6th, from Reuters, Syria's army broke the siege of an army base encircled by opposition forces on the eastern outskirts of Damascus. Rebels, mainly belonging to the Islamist Ahrar al-Sham faction, widened their control of parts of the military vehicles administration base in the eastern Ghouta town of Harasta. No Intifada update, zip, zip, whip. And looking at our review of last week's news, President Donald Trump made it clear last week that we will not tolerate falsehoods being spread about America and our positions, and that we certainly will not spend taxpayer dollars to subsidize those who spread them. Clashes in Iran between security forces and demonstrators left 9 people dead, bringing the death toll to at least 20 in the unrest that raged for 6 days last week. Despite Syrian and Iraqi claims of victory over ISIS, thousands of militants still holed up in both countries have mounted a number of recent guerrilla-style attacks on civilians and military forces. And Syria's army broke the siege of an army base encircled by opposition forces on the eastern outskirts of Damascus. And that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week on YouTube. Until then, keep your wicks trimmed. Keep your lamps ablaze. Shalom, my friends.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.